welcome everyone.
Hey guys, welcome to Hormetic Monks podcast number 15.
15.
Knocking it out the park again.
The goal is 20. 5 more to go. Alrighty. This last week we've both been listening to the Warren Buffett Way, the audiobook, and it's just I'm trying to get better at investing. There's a lot that I learned from listening to this book, things that I previously was doing that I'm like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have been doing that.
Right.
And also, like, kind of a revelation, I guess, realization. Like, it really doesn't take a ton of time if you follow like the rules that he has in place.
Yeah.
And it really is kind of a stress-free way of investing. This is definitely the route I'm going to go with the majority of my portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Just finding companies that fit that criteria.
Yeah. More the buy and hold long-term method instead of all this trade in and trade out.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is like I personally know a lot of people that a decent amount of people that invest, and they traded like someone that had Nvidia stock. They were really bullish on it, and they sold it, and it just skyrocketed like a bunch.
Right.
And they
Right
had been
before they
holding
sold
it for a while.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
So yeah, one of the key things is like in a lot of people are like investing in the short term, and it completely makes sense to me why like not a lot of people make money when they try to get into this, because they just don't hold on long enough, and they invest with money that they think that they don't need, but then they end up like me. And what I've done is I'm like, yes, I'm investing, build up my portfolio, and then something happens, and then I sell.
Right.
It's really getting yourself in a good financial position to where what you're investing, you don't end up selling, and then oh shoot, Bitcoin shoots up to 60 or 70,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Just as and you're selling at whatever 20, 30,000,
Yeah.
and you miss the growth, and that's it's like over investing. You're over kind of not leveraging, but over investing monies that you do not have or that you might need in the future.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll kick this off. With notes that I took with ChatGPT last week. I think it's pretty cool. I'm trying to get used to using it as a tool.
Right. Yeah. Use it or get left behind. Right.
Yeah. And I did notice like there is definitely some like limitations. Like I was trying to see what I could do with it. Like how far I could get it. Yeah. Get away with lazy research, and I mean it helped me to a certain extent, but it's not like able to do like a whole price analysis on a stock very well. It did a decent amount. So basically, piggyback off of what we were doing last week, AI and investing, but mostly this is about investing. I just used ChatGPT, so we'll see what you guys think about it. But first, so I just researched what is Warren Buffett's approach or method. It can be condensed into several key principles. Invest in what you know. Stick to businesses that you understand well. A concept known as staying within your circle of competence. So that's one thing. Like one thing I'm gonna be deviating from, but is investing in technology, which
right. He doesn't really do a whole
he doesn't do, but because he's not like that's where. Well, he hasn't figured out how to do it right, or do it accurately, because it's so complex.
Right.
It's not a super simple business. Like there's technology, and you keep on, to be competitive, you have to keep on coming out with new technology, and it's more volatile.
It is. Yeah.
There's huge upside, but there's also like there's huge downsides. There's one GoPro I was looking at. They're a tech company. They're freaking awesome. Like everybody knows GoPro, but the stock is not doing too well. They've been profitable. Oh, I actually have a whole thing on that because I was trying to see if it would fit his criteria. But I'll go into more about GoPro a little bit later. I'll try to finish through his rules.
His values, yeah.
Yeah. So value investing. Look for companies that are undervalued by the market but have solid fundamentals and long-term growth prospects.
Right.
Long-term perspective. Invest with the intention of holding your investments for a long time, ideally forever, instead of looking for quick profits.
Right, which is what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Which is like the whole in and out trading up. That's all largely emotional because no one really knows the future. And if you have a business that is simple, it's good, it's been producing profits, and you're invested in it, but all of a sudden, the stock drops, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
the price drops, but not the intrinsic value.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to the intrinsic value. Now the price is dropping. You feel like you're gonna lose, X amount of your portfolio. You need to jump out, and that's where he says no.
I've heard this over and over again. Don't be trying to jump out for the economic collapse because people are rarely successful at doing that. So cross dollar average over a while.
Yeah.
But okay, compound interest. Utilize the power of compound interest by reinvesting earnings and holding investments over long periods.
Right. So he's taking his dividends and rolling it into the stock probably.
Yep. Margin of safety. Always invest with a margin of safety by purchasing securities well below their intrinsic value to minimize downside risk. So he's got a way of this is one thing that I really want to learn how to do really well.
Right.
And that is determine the value of the company and determine if the stock is undervalued compared to what the value of the company is. Like the way he looks at it as I think the companies that he buys with stocks and is able to be a major shareholder of the company, he's like, it's way cheaper. I got a massive bargain doing it that way than instead of buying the company outright.
Right.
The value would be I don't know, a couple times more. Like to buy a share of that company without buying the stocks would have been way more expensive.
You mean to buy an equity position?
Yeah, the equity position of the company.
Right. So so he finds it a little bit more valuable, or he finds a lot more value in actually buying the common stock or preferred stocks and not in actually just buying the whole company.
Yes, because the stock market there's times when it's undervalued, so you can get a piece of that company for a fraction of the price of actually buying the company.
Right, outright.
Yeah.
Outright. So you're talking about basically investing in buying the stocks instead of buying an equity position of 20 to 30% of the actual equity of the company.
Yeah.
Or I guess it would be legally buying. It's the company split up into stocks, right? That's the company's equity technically, but you could also have ownership, meaning I guess I'm kind of confused a little bit there because
basically each stock purchase that you buy, if you think about what the company is intrinsically worth, let's say throw out the stocks, a percentage of that company, you have a total evaluation of that company and you divide it by if you were to put a valuation on that company, and let's say you've got 1,000 stocks, let's say for instance.
Right. So
you got 1,000 stocks, divided by divide that, and then you divide that. If someone was gonna come right out and buy that company, you divide that by the valuation of that stock, and it would be more expensive to buy that company
outright and take it private, essentially.
Than it is to like have I don't know. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but I think.
Well, I think essentially, and maybe, and I think I'm, you know, yeah.
The stock price is cheaper than the valuation of the company. So you got this company and then the stocks. Like
I got what you're saying.
It's
I got
two
what you're
separate
saying.
things.
So basically, you're basically just saying that he has found it more valuable to buy the stock because it's priced by the market.
Yeah.
And the intrinsic value of the company is a lot higher than the value of the stock, which is basically just the market capitalization of the stock, which is just the number of shares outstanding times the price, right? Yep. So yeah, the number of shares outstanding times the price, that might be $1 billion, but then he's determined that the intrinsic value is 800 million, and so he's now got in for $200 million underneath what it would be
actually buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what he does. That's what he does when he's looking at he does the calculation and it's in the book. I should have wrote that part down, but I was confused. Not confused, but it's not super complicated.
No, but there is a lot. There's a lot of details.
Yeah, but that is one skill that I really want to get, and I think that's the most valuable skill, because then what you can start doing is like just scouring all the lesser known companies on the stock market and do your financial analysis on it,
right,
to see what the stock price is compared to what the valuation of the company is. And if that's the case, like, hey, I don't like I'm gonna buy in because I know that the stocks are half the value, or like they're at a really good bargain right now, and I can buy in right now and keep on purchasing these stocks over time, and it'll the stocks will start meeting the actual value of the company.
Right. Essentially, for a time, the market's being irrational.
Yeah.
They're actually pricing it a lot lower than what the actual intrinsic value of the company is. If you do a analysis of the company, and eventually the market will become rational, and it'll actually meet that, and possibly and probably at some point it's actually going to go irrational again. But this time it's going to go up on the upside, and it's actually going to value the company way more than what the company is actually worth, which in that case you could talk about rebalancing your portfolio, or a lot of probably what Warren Buffett's is doing is, even if that happens, he's probably still holding. Yeah. Because he's not worried about these little cycles that are going like this, because the long-term trend, the long-term cycle is exponential up, and he's not worried about, and he's not going to try to time it.
No. I mean, I think he does. What he does do is like, oh wow, this stock is like way overvalued right now. I've got this like a ton of them. I'm gonna go ahead and sell like a small like a percentage of them.
Yep.
Not everything. And then you wait for the market to be more efficient again.
Yep.
And price it. But that's the thing. He's I might as well get it. The market's not really. People say the market is super efficient, and it actually, like, I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I used to think that's the case, but it's just really erratic. It's a really emotional thing.
It's driven more by psychology than facts.
Yeah, emotions.
Yeah, emotions and
straight
psychology.
Up. Yeah, like there's just so many things that don't make sense. It's a bunch of emotional people getting sad about their stock price going down.
Right.
That's why you see it get past a certain point, and the emotional tolerance just breaks, and then it just goes down.
Right. Yeah.
And Bitcoin. I had FOMO. I've been having FOMO with Bitcoin. I just because I've been hearing, oh, it's gonna go to like 100,000. And like,
should I buy it now? Should I put it on?
What I did to just cure that of me, I just put it in like $50 or something like that. If it does, great. If it doesn't, if it goes down, I'm completely happy with that because I'm cost dollar averaging. I'm throwing my $20 in a week for like. I'm honestly like. I don't have to go into that right now. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
later.
it did. I did want to mention something. It's funny because in the book, which you guys should listen to, Robert G. Hagstrom, I think it is, The Warren Buffett Way, is the author.
Oh yeah.
And in there he talks about how Warren Buffett, I think he names these people as lemmings.
Lemmings, yeah.
And it's basically like following the crowd, and so that's exactly
all of a sudden lemmings will just start jumping in the water and swimming until they drown.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what a lot of people are probably doing with Bitcoin now. Now they could be right, they could be wrong, but the point is they're looking at the price going up and they're going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm gonna follow the crowd. You know,
exactly.
It's gonna go to 1 million.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll try to get through these 10. There's two companies that came to my mind that I was curious about. So
should we talk about each one a little bit? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm not talking about those yet. I'm gonna continue through this.
Okay. No, I'm saying each one of these tenants here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the next, we were just at compound interest, margin of safety. Always invest with a margin of safety by purchasing securities well below their intrinsic value to minimize downside. I already read that one, didn't I? Quality management. Invest in companies with honest and competent management. That is like
probably one of the bigger ones, really.
Super crucial. I mean, I already talked about that last week. We talked about that.
Yeah. And researching CEOs and executives and all that stuff to see where they're going.
I was so stoked listening to the book and he was mentioning that, and that got me super excited because like every single company, I've just listened to tons of business podcasts and stuff, and they're talking about leadership. Leadership is everything, and that's where Warren Buffett has broken his rule a couple times, where he invests in different types of companies that didn't meet his criteria, is because of these leadership. Where they go, things happen, and he does well.
Right. So you're following the executives or CEOs where they go, because you find like 13, 14, 15 good CEOs, and you're like, oh, this CEO just moved to this company. Maybe I should check out this company. He's like, he's got it in his terms. We'll hold this stock if this person leaves, and I'm leaving too. Right. That's how much it means. Yeah, that's fair.
So, okay, and then financial discipline: be frugal and avoid debt. Buffett is known for his frugal lifestyle and cautious approach to borrowing.
Yep.
Read and learn constantly. Buffett spends a significant portion of his day reading financial statements, newspapers, and books. Lifelong learning is a key to success.
And playing bridge. Right?
Yes, and playing bridge. Patience, wait for the right opportunity to invest rather than acting on impulse or market trends. That's where I struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Philanthropy, he likes commit to giving back. Buffett has pledged to give away the majority of his wealth to philanthropic causes.
Right.
These principles have guided Buffett through decades of successful investing and have been a foundation for his philosophy on wealth and life. By the way, this is all from ChatGPT.
Shout out to
research. Okay, Warren Buffett, renowned for his investment prowess, uses a specific set of criteria to evaluate companies for investment and strategy grounded in value investing principles focused on several key factors. Understandable business. Buffett invests in companies with simple and understandable business models. He prefers businesses that he can easily analyze and predict future cash flows.
Right, and that's like, I think a lot, like if you think about it, he has Coca-Cola, he's a huge stakeholder in Coca-Cola. See's Candy, owns 100% of See's Candy. And so like, these are like very simple because it's like food and beverage companies basically. and they're not really going to change much. They're not going to be likely disrupted by technology very easily, and so that's what he's looking at primarily investing. That's probably why he doesn't touch a lot of tech stocks.
Yeah,
because they're difficult to understand. Although, to me, and this is just me, insurance companies seem god awful complicated. But I think Warren Buffett has a great understanding in that area. So that's investing in a niche.
Yeah, and
he understands.
He also doesn't invest in companies that have a lot of competition. He invests in companies with a unique product.
Right.
Like Apple. Yeah. Yep. And then long-term viability. The company should have a long-term competitive advantage or moat that protects it from competitors. This could be a strong brand, unique products, or a dominant market position. I'm thinking about a stock that I'm interested right now, and that checks one of those boxes.
Yeah.
Stable and predictable earnings. He looks for companies with a consistent history of profitability and stable earnings growth. Buffett values predictability over high growth rates. Okay. Good return on equity, ROE without excessive debt. A high ROE indicates a company is efficiently generating profits without needing excessive debt.
Right.
Buffett prefers companies that grow through generated earnings rather than through large amounts of debt.
Right, because you could
That's
actually,
the good one.
yeah, because you could. So the ROE or the ROE or whatever, that's return on equity. So you're basically looking at the equity per shareholder is increasing over time, and what he's worried about is a company taking on large amounts of debt and growing that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can take, and that's actually too what mergers and acquisitions. A lot of times, what they'll do is a company will take out a large amount of debt and they'll purchase another company, and then their equity grows.
Yep, he talks about that in the book a lot. He's like, there's these successful companies that are great, but then they don't meet that leadership standard. They get anxious and they feel like they should be doing something, right. And their company's not super profitable,
right? So
they go to acquire another company to make it look like they're
actually growing,
it's not real growth,
right?
Yeah,
and now you have all this debt that then is pulling back on the company over a long term. In the short term, great, we have equity growth.
Yeah.
But in the long term, that equity growth is going to turn downwards.
Yeah.
Because the debt is going to pull it back.
That's a really important one to watch out for, especially if you're wanting to do the long term approach. That something like that will screw you big time.
Definitely. Yep.
So management quality.
I didn't want to. It to me it kind of seems similar to you have a guy in your neighborhood, maybe it's your neighbor, and you're looking at him, maybe you guys are friends, and all of a sudden he shows up with this nice new brand, 2024 BMW, and you're like, wow, he must be doing really well, Then all of a sudden he buys a new truck, maybe a Ford Raptor. You're like, man, this guy must be killing it at work, right?
Yeah.
And maybe his business is doing great. Pulls in a new boat with that Raptor, you're like, wow, bought a new house, wow. And then you're going, man, this guy must be doing great. But what you don't realize is his debt.
Yeah.
He has so much debt, and then pretty soon, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, what happened to Tom? Oh, he's bankrupt. How'd that happen? Right? That's the difference between, that's kind of like a similarity if you're looking at personal finance.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So these are kind of going over the stuff up there, but
yeah.
Management quality of company should have honest, competent, and shareholder-oriented management.
Right.
Buffett often emphasizes the importance of management, integrity, and skill.
Right. So making sure all the incentives are aligned for the executives, making sure that their pay is actually linked to performance. And I think Elon Musk does a really good job of that.
Yeah. Fair price. Even the best companies become a poor investment if purchased at too high a price.
Right.
Buffett uses various valuation methods to determine if a company's stock is undervalued based on its intrinsic value. He is known for his discipline and waiting for the right price before making an investment. That's one that's coming to my mind, that stock. Margin of safety. This is a fundamental principle in Buffett's investment strategy, involves buying securities at a significant discount to their intrinsic value to minimize downside risk. Buffett's approach is characterized by a combination of thorough financial analysis and qualitative evaluation of the company's business model, competitive advantage, and management. His investment decisions are made with a long-term perspective, often holding stocks for decades. This methodology underscores the importance of patience, discipline, and focus on fundamentals and successful investing. Right there. So, actually, I'm about to do my finish first. GoPro.
And so basically, these are a couple stocks that you've been looking at recently.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I'll look at this really quick. So these are 10 stocks that meet Warren Buffett's approach, according to ChatGPT. I'm not sure. Okay, that's that other one. Okay, Apple. That's one of them. Bank of America, Chevron, Coca-Cola, American Express, Occidental Petroleum. Huh.
I've never heard of
Kraft,
that.
Heinz. So Heinz ketchup.
Yep.
That was a cool story in the book. He talked about that. Moody's Corp, DaVita, and Citigroup. Which, by the way, Citigroup and American Express, like, I've only heard good. Like, I had American Express at one point, and dude, it's funny. I mean, so when I started doing bad financially with my business, they actually were the first company to realize it, and they actually reduced my credit limit. The only ones to do it, so they're freaking on it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good for me, but good for them.
Fair.
Okay, that one's more research. Okay, so I'm gonna go to GoPro evaluating. This is also like I'm reading this out because this is like I'm using ChatGPT and it came up with all this stuff in like 2 seconds, and so
sure.
Like it just makes analysis a lot easier.
Yeah.
So evaluating GoPro in the context of Warren Buffett's investment principles requires examining its financial health, business model, and competitive position based on GoPro's 2023 financial results and other recent data. Here's analysis regarding its potential fit with the Buffett investment methodology. GoPro reported a revenue of $1.005 billion in 2023, a slight decrease from $1.094 billion in 2022. The company experienced a net loss of $53 million in 2023 compared to a net profit of $28 million in 2022. So that's disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we were looking at I was looking at this is because the stock price is very, very low right now.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so the shift from profit to loss highlights financial challenges faced during the year, but the gross profit was $323 billion in 2023, down from $406 billion in 2022, indicating pressures on profitability. So those are some of the metrics. So everyone knows what it is. I'm going to skip that part. So given market valuation, given the recent financial performance and challenges, GoPro's market valuation would need a detailed analysis considering its growth prospects. So that's the part I need to learn how to do. Mm-hmm. Competitive position, ability to return profitability. Warren Buffett emphasizes investing in companies with a strong competitive moat, consistent earning power, and understandable business at a reasonable price. Buffett's investment criteria. GoPro's current financial challenges, including fluctuating revenues and recent net loss, may not align well with Buffett's preference for companies with consistent earning power and a strong moat. However, the tech industry's rapid pace of change and high competitive competition might not fit the criteria of businesses Buffett typically considers. So yeah, That's yeah. So basically, it just using ChatGPT, I was able that was pretty quick. I was able to figure out, okay, this is probably Warren Buffett would invest in this company.
Right, because of the fluctuating revenues I guess they're worried about the moat. So, ChatGPT brought that out. Is that the moat would be basically they don't really they have a small competitive edge over phones.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's really what's beating them is phones because.
Yeah.
It's a niche category, but it's a it's a good quality product.
Right.
That lasts a long time.
Right.
So,
but you don't have a lot of. It's not like Coca-Cola where you go and you drink a Coke and then it's done and you go get another one.
Yeah. So that's where the revenue is struggling because less and less people are buying them unless they are into extreme sports. So that's their niche area.
Right, snowboarding, skiing.
Which is a bummer. I really like that company, but investment wise,
product, yeah.
I'm here to make money just because I like the company doesn't mean you should invest in it if you're gonna lose your money. Potentially.
Right.
So
you could like Kodak back in the day, that probably wasn't a good investment.
Right. So this is a company. It's a network marketing company, which I know people that dislike network marketing company. But if you're interested in stocks, and I was just at Amway the other day delivering a truckload, and they've got this massive state of the art facility.
Yeah, I've seen
it's
that.
Wow.
Northern Grand Rapids. Yep.
So there's huge potential, and I don't comparing LifeVantage to a company like Amway, I don't know how unique those products are. I see a lot of Herbalife and they all seem like they're kind of competing against each other.
Right.
LifeVantage actually it has a competitive edge. Their products have what can't I think right now? They have
protein or
they have patents. Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
they have patents,
patented
products, and they're niche, and they got their products are state of the art compared to a lot of other companies, and they actually have universities studying the products because they're like, how the heck are these things working so well?
Right.
From a scientific perspective view. So they've got that, and I believe they've been profitable every single year, and I still have to do more research. I'm just gonna go through, I'm not gonna invest in this company yet because there's a couple things that I want to do first before I go all in. I want to do an evaluation of the company, I want to figure this out. I still don't know exactly how he determines the actual intrinsic value of it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different strategies that people employ, but yeah.
But okay, so this is ChatGPT, LifeVantage. Basically, it's repeating what I said. Conduct a comprehensive analysis of LifeVantage. So I asked the ChatGPT, conduct a comprehensive analysis of LifeVantage, and this is what it came up with, covering its financial health, business model, competitive advantage, management quality, and market valuation. We'll break down each aspect based on general principles as my current access to real-time data and specific financial report is limited. This analysis will offer a framework of understanding LifeVantage's position, but should be supplemented with the latest data and reports for decision making. Business model. LifeVantage is known for its direct selling approach in the health and wellness industry, focusing on products related to nutrigenomics.
Nutrigenomics. Yeah, I think it's nutrition. It's basically like nutrition. It's the root word would be nutrition there. So basically it's like nutrition technology. So their main thing is protandim, which is like a proprietary blend of like ashwagandha and a couple of these other herbs that are basically there to reduce oxidative stress.
Yeah, they all synergistically act together and have an outperforming result combined than if each one of them were taken separately.
Right, so you want to take it all together.
Even if you were able to bring all of them together yourself, they did it in a lab to where it does it like exponentially.
Right, so it's like
results.
You could take each one. There, I don't know. There's maybe 5 or 6, 7 ingredients, but if you took each one of those ingredients, even at the same time, it wouldn't be just like taking the protandim pill because they're getting precise amounts of each one.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not signed up. I used to be, but I did it before. Maybe I should again. I'm just kidding.
You
I've actually thought about doing it again, or just
no. It's I think I've noticed
network marketing is the approach is Anyways, but this isn't about network marketing.
Well, so sort of we're talking about the company, but
I mean, it works for I'll just touch on it briefly. My understanding of network marketing, the reason why so many people have a bad taste is because most people that get into it are not professionals,
right? And
they don't have a background in like a professional field. It could be sales, but it's like the entrepreneurship type of thing. If it's literally like the people that I've seen who really succeed are people that previously had business owners. Like you have conversations, and they're very like they can represent themselves very good.
Right.
Like they sell themselves as a person very well. Those are the type of people that tend to do good in network marketing. They've already developed this skill set.
A lot of these interpersonal communication skills,
and they're trustworthy. They're like they just like they know how to answer questions and doubts and all that stuff.
Right. You're not spamming your friends and just hounding them down and making their life a living hell.
Yeah, my poor friends when I was younger.
That's okay. I mean, it's a learning experience. And I think, that's I mean, I think it takes a while, and I think a true salesman is out there trying to sell a product to people that need it, and you don't want to sell products to people that don't need it
or don't want it.
But I mean,
they're like, you don't know you need this.
Right, and maybe they do need it, but
no,
it's all about how you come across, I guess. You're right.
Yeah. Anyways, nutrigenomics.
Word of the day,
but the direct selling model can also create a loyal customer and distributor base, potentially acting as a barrier to entry for competitors. However, this space is highly competitive with numerous companies offering similar. It says similar wellness products. That I disagree with that. That's from ChatGPT.
Right. ChatGPT.
It's not always
still learning.
No, I've caught a lot of some things where it's not correct, but management quality. Assessing management quality involves looking at the leadership experience. Teams experience, their track record in steering the company through various market conditions, and their strategic vision. Public statements and annual reports and news about the company can provide insights into management's effectiveness and alignment with shareholders' interests. So this is like an area where I need to, looking at this as a potential investment, I want to get to know the leadership. But from what I've heard is they actually have been doing pretty well. Recently, the company there was like a hostile takeover where this group, there's basically predatory takeovers of companies with no interest in the company at all. It's about just trying to make as much money as they can. So they take it over and sell the technologies and stuff they have in that company to other stuff. Yeah, to other companies. So that's a very concerning thing. So that does not have a good moat. It survived this one.
Right.
So that's a potential of like if that happened,
Right.
they liquidate the company, sell all the money that you have in the stock market. That I don't even know what necessarily happens with it.
Right.
That's a scary situation.
Well,
so that this company probably would be labeled on a more risky side. So I don't know if we would invest in it.
Right.
But they did survive it.
Right.
They did survive it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Warren Buffett comes in and buys a ton of stocks of companies and becomes a shareholder. So there's always risk.
Yeah, you can't. You're just looking to mitigate your
Yeah.
downside. Like what the Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham, like rule number 1, don't lose money.
And rule number 2,
see
don't
rule 1.
see rule 1. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just finish this up.
Yep.
Perfect. Conclusion. This framework outlines the key areas to focus on when. So it's just telling you what to do right there. Based on public information, 2024 and 2023. Let's see.
Well,
In its fiscal year 2023, LifeVantage reported revenue of 213.4 million, marking at a 3.41% increase from the previous year's 206.36 million. However, earnings were 2.54, reflecting 18.59% decrease. The company has also been active in returning value to shareholders, as evidenced by the declaration of dividends, including a notable 40-cent special dividend and regular 0.035% cent dividends throughout the year. For the second quarter of fiscal year 2024, LifeVantage reported a loss of 0.052 per share compared to a 0.84 loss in the same quarter the previous year, indicating some improvements in earnings per share. The company has continued its practice of declaring quarterly dividends, maintaining its payout at 0.035 cents per share. So that's 3 cents.
Yeah,
3 cents.
3 cents and 3.5 cents.
3.5 cents per share, which represents a consistent approach to shareholder returns despite the quarterly loss. Okay, so the dividends are causing it to lose. But I think they have a lot of cash.
Cash on hand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I just want to interject really quick, just because I love words, and I think it's funny because we both really don't know how to pronounce that word. So I looked up how to pronounce. So here we go, guys. Word of the day.
Nutrigenomics.
Why is it in a weird accent?
Nutrigenomics.
Anyways, Nutrigenomics. I guess that is actually. I just feel like it's weird to have it in a weird accent like that. Anyways, yeah, I just figured I'd throw that in there.
So, recent reports highlight significant executive changes and the appointment of new board members, suggesting a period of transition for the company. Proxy advisory from ISS has even backed an investor bid for board seats and sought the removal of the chairman, indicating some level of shareholder activism. Such developments can signal efforts to strengthen governance and strategic direction, but also underscore the challenges of navigating executive leadership changes. Valuation and market sentiment. The stock has experienced volatility, with investor sentiment fluctuating based on earnings reports, dividend announcements, and corporate governance news. Despite recent losses per share, improved earnings guidance for fiscal year 2024 and ongoing dividend payments may contribute to a more positive outlook among investors. In summary, LifeVantage appears to be navigating through a transformative period of changes on leadership and strategic adjustments. The company's focus on nutrigenomics products offers a unique valuation. Okay, there's a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So basically, it is so there's volatility. So that's not that I don't think that would necessarily meet with it, since it's transitioning with the, like, leadership and stuff like that. Or
Right. There's a lot of internal turmoil going on.
But I think that has to do with the hostile takeover. So it's taking that online, and so I don't think the leadership was removed. But they were going through
what they were going through at the time that ChatGPT read that.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, like, ChatGPT, I think lags. At least so far, I think it lags. It can lag about a year because it with some of the things, because it's being trained on data, and it's taking all this data and compressing it, and then when you ask a question, it can output an answer. But not a lot of times, it can't be current on everything. So it probably was still during that time when it was going through the hostile takeover, or the attempted hostile takeover.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's. I really like. I've heard this approach. I met a person a couple years ago that he's been doing the Warren Buffett approach, and it's been working out very well. And what gets me excited, so, like, really 100% returns, okay, that's great, a good investment or whatever. But really, the great investments are the 1,000% returns, and that's what your Warren Buffett consistently is getting back, like, over 5 to 10 year periods in a lot of companies that he invests in, which is awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I threw in, because I'm so, like, what I'm looking for personally in stocks is they're not companies that are massive
more
massive
small cap companies.
Small cap companies with massive room to grow, but then, like, there's gonna be more. You're gonna have to go through way more companies to find good ones.
Right, and you're taking on just a little bit more risk.
Yep.
Yeah. Because the more established the company is, the bigger the market cap. It doesn't always translate to less risk, but it does translate typically to more modes and in business for a long time.
Yep.
So GoPro and LifeVantage were two companies that you've been looking at, and probably continue to look at more companies in the future, and kind of both figure out whether we want to invest in those or not, and kind of go from there. But
if any of you know any good stocks that we can look at, comment in the section below, and I'd be happy to look at it. I want to. Basically, in the book they're recommending 5, like, mainly try to get your 5 core companies that you really like. Really, you do the analysis on them, and you just consistently invest in those for a 5-10 year period. If you using his method, I mean, just look at his track record. It's pretty epic.
Yeah, and even if you have a private company, it'd be interesting to analyze a private company, and hey, maybe in the future. We don't really have.
I don't know how to analyze it yet, so don't ask me for evaluation.
But I think we could kind of bumble through analyzing a company, and we'll probably continue to bumble through analyzing as we kind of learn and grow. So.
Yeah. Well, what do you have? Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. I'll probably pick a couple stocks in the future to look at, and we can kind of talk about those, and then we can just research those, and maybe share some of our research with you in regards to our individualistic choices, and
the next book I'm going to be reading this next week is the Charlie Munger, the Poor Charlie's Almanac.
Poor Charlie's Almanac.
Cool. That's going to be the next book I'm reading for fun.
Sure.
But we talk all during the week, so we'll figure out what we're gonna be doing next week. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have a good rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in.
Have a good week.
Peace.